Fit for Life Radio, episode number 44. I'm your host, Gary Deagle, here with Will Shively.
What up?
And man, saying 44 made me realize we've kind of done a lot of these now.
I know.
44 just...
I'm cool with it.
Yeah.
Keep stacking them up.
You know how when you were like in school and you would like reward yourself for like not finishing or really accomplishing anything, but you would like, oh, I've done a lot. Let me take a break.
Yeah.
That's how it feels.
44.
That's how 44 podcasts feel. But we kind of took a break for about a year.
So we already took our deserved break, and we're just going to have to deal with that, I guess.
So, yeah, we'll just keep on trucking through. People are still listening. People
are still asking questions.
You know, it may just be our moms, but...
Yeah, that's fine.
Counts for something.
Love you, Mom.
All right, episode 44. This is kind of more of a sensitive subject, but an important one.
Yeah, this one might touch you down deep.
We're going to talk about dealing with negative friends and family. The negative Nancy's.
Everybody's got them. Everybody's got somebody.
When you're trying to do your thing.
And they don't want you to do your thing.
They might even actively push against it.
Sabotage.
Why's it got to be like that?
I don't know. We're going to dig in why.
Yeah. And what to do about it.
What do you do?
The thing is, it happens. And we know this from working with all our clients and seeing it. And yeah, sure enough, if you have a supportive, maybe family at home environment, it's a lot easier.
It is a whole lot easier.
You know, I mean, we've had some ladies or guys and their spouse just is all like, they're like, I'm going to do this. And the other person's like, I'm going to do it with you. Even though they don't even need to.
Yeah.
And
that's what a spouse does.
Bless up.
Bless. Hashtag bless.
Bless up.
Let's talk about
that makes it good. But then there's the opposite, where there's people who are going to start making some changes, and their support system is like, nah, I'm not on board. Or
you can do it, but I'm not going to.
Or might even try to sabotage them.
Yeah. Like, oh, do you want these chips, right? Come on. It's just once. Sounds like you're trying to get them to try drugs or something. Yeah. But that happens.
And it's tough because these are people, maybe it's work environment, home environment, whatever it is, friends, family, and they ultimately care about you, right?
And you care about them.
And normally what it is it's more a reflection of what they're thinking.
Yes.
And I can't make those changes.
Yeah, it's fear of some kind that's kind of motivating that. And
but the worst thing you can do is be pushy about it.
Yep.
Right? Like at the end of the day, look, it's you. Don't let them affect the decisions you're going to make. You got to do you. But the worst is when you come at it and you're just like, oh, I just read this book and now like
and
this.
You have to change.
You need to do this now. And like this is the only way. And then you start selling like. Next thing you know, you're a beach body coach, and you're selling the workouts, and
the shakes,
you're selling the shakes, and you're putting the patch on, and you're like, this is my life, and it's been like 4 days,
and you've turned from someone who doesn't exercise into a beach body coach.
So that's
that's a lot for the person that you're living with, or the people that see you a lot to digest.
So. You want to be consistent, be persistent, but not pushy, right? So the pushier you are, the more resistance, the bigger the wall they're going to put up.
Oh, yeah.
And the less support you're going to get in the long run when you need it, because it's not always going to be easy. You're not always going to be motivated. So really you can just do your thing. And the great thing is a lot of times like habits wear off on other people and change, especially if it's like, with kids and younger people, right? Like they'll normally see what you're doing, but obviously like peers and spouses, not so much, but
still happens though.
But it happens like ultimately when they see you, start to benefit from it, and you're not bugging, you just ultimately you seem happy and you seem good is when they'll come around.
They're like, oh man, like you seem happy or you've lost weight or whatever it is. Maybe I'll try. And you let them come around on their own time, right?
Yep.
Instead of just throwing it at them, because you have to remember, too, you decided to make a change when you were ready. Well, maybe that person's not ready yet, and you just got to give them time, to maybe to be around it, to think it over, or whatever it is. So just remember that just because you're ready doesn't mean somebody else is ready in the moment either.
Yeah. And to understand that, where they're at might technically be right for them.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe you just expanded your toolbox. For example, we'll use a common one is, a lot of people say, you come home and you normally unwind with some alcohol. You have 2, 3, 4 glasses of wine or beer, and all of a sudden you decide, what, this is not helping me, and I want to lose some weight, and I'm going to cut these calories out, and then all of a sudden you're feeling better, you're sleeping better, you start finding another way to handle with the stress from a long day, and then you get preachy maybe to your spouse, and you see them drinking a beer, or you're talking to a coworker, and they're like, I can't wait to get home and crack open some beer, after this stressful day. Then all of a sudden, say you get preachy and judgy and
dig in on them.
But what if for them that is all they know to how to deal with?
That's their best tool.
That stress, right?
In the moment for dealing with it.
So now you're being preachy and you're just pushing them away from learning. Other options and what you're doing. So, accept that where you're at, isn't where someone else is at. I know for me as a coach, obviously, like, as we do more, we get better. And I think back to when I was a young coach, that's a mistake. Like, you think everyone's where you're at. I know how awesome working out is and how great it makes me feel and how it improved my confidence. Like, people should just do it once and realize that. Or not even do it once. They should just listen to me tell them they need to do it and be convinced.
And then do it. Yeah. I think a good, easy way to say it is to, like, show, not tell. Like, stop talking at people and just kind of be a good example, too. Like, that's another way to really deal with it. Instead of preaching and pushing somebody away, just do it. Show people that it has a positive effect, and people will get curious and wander over and check it out and see what it's about. And that's a whole lot more beneficial than just saying, like, what you're doing now isn't healthy. You have to lose weight. You got to do this. You got to stop smoking. Because that just shuts people down immediately. And it's just not a good way to do it, though it may be our initial instinct. When we do care about somebody, to kind of dig in on them and tell them how we feel about whatever they're doing.
If you know me, I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's 1 scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out. If you know me, I'm always on the run, up early and home late, so having a 3-hour morning routine isn't really in the cards for me. What is in the cards is AG1. It's a fast way to get vitamins and minerals I need to perform. I first gave AG1 a try because I wanted a single solution that helps support my entire body by filling in nutrient gaps and simplifying my morning routine. Since drinking AG1 daily, I've always felt strong and energized and ready to attack the day. Not only does AG1 deliver my daily dose of vitamins, minerals, pre- and probiotics, and more, it's a powerful, healthy habit that's also powerfully simple. It's 1 scoop mixed in water once a day and every day. I know that AG1 is giving my body high-quality nutrition. Every batch of AG1 goes through a rigorous testing process, so you know that it's safe. And AG1 ingredients are sourced for absorption, potency, and nutrition density. AG1 is a supplement that I trust to provide the support my body needs daily, and that's why I'm excited to welcome them as a new partner. Here is your chance to start every day this season with a gift to yourself. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase exclusively at drinkag1.com/provengrit. That's drinkag1.com/provengrit. Check it out.
Yeah. And then, so ultimately, once you make that decision and you start maybe making changes and you getting some negative vibes from friends and family, first and foremost, you have to just keep doing you. Like, you have to power through. You're trying to change, and it's hard. It's difficult, right? This is part of it being difficult.
Yes.
Right? But then the next step that you don't want to do is, don't be pushy and preachy about it. Like, don't just get mad at them and then and be preachy, because that's just going to push them away and it's not going to help them understand. Yeah. Right? So really do you, and by doing that, in effect, you're going to maybe give them a chance to understand. They're going to maybe get more curious, and you have a chance to kind of, eventually turn their negative energy into positive. And the third thing is ultimately your circle might eventually change. Like some people might not come around, and you eventually find friends that have similar habits and thoughts and lifestyles as you change. Like you eventually change. Like my friends now are different, than 8 years ago and 10 years ago.
Same.
And
absolutely,
that's just what happens, right? And at the end of the day, if someone's going to say, hey, like, ultimately, like, you're trying to make a change and they're trying to sabotage you, like,
you just can't stay with that.
Yeah, you have to move on, know?
Which is easier said than done.
Right.
We're not saying that's easy, but it might be a decision that you have to make. And sometimes it happens organically. Like, you may find, like, that negative person, you just kind of don't want to be around them after a while and just kind of drift away. And that's part of changing.
Yeah.
Like, just becoming a little bit of a different person. And then you meet new people who have similar interests, and kind of, it happens to us. Most people we hang out with, for the most part.
Yeah. And this is,
work out and eat well, and
yeah, and this is a super dynamic topic too. We understand, like, a
yeah.
lot of it, if you're married and have kids, like, that's not a relationship you can walk away from.
You can't just drop
at
it.
work, there's certain coworkers, like, you're gonna have to see them every day and work with them, which circles back around to why it's important to be persistent and not pushy, because you might have to have some semblance of a relationship with people, but at the end of the day, if you're doing you and you change and you're happy, and people don't get on board with that, like, over time, relationships will evolve, and that's okay. It's being okay with it too is part of dealing with, negative friends and family. But again, we don't want to be super Debbie Downer here. Like, in general, what we've seen is people do change and come around.
Yeah. It just takes time. Same thing with, like, usually one spouse will start here at the gym, and the other one is maybe apprehensive, right? Like, oh, no, I don't want these dudes to tell me what to do, or I don't need coaching. And, the spouse that comes in, they love it. They just take to it. They come here consistently. And they're not super pushy about it. And the other person eventually is like, you know what? I'm going to come in and try it. Like, can I do that?
Yeah.
And they eventually come in, they come around, and they freaking love it. But they just weren't ready in the beginning to take that chance. And not forcing it down their throats every single day can help them eventually come around to that.
Yeah. And then, another example is, so that's one where that person does come around and kind of drinks the Kool-Aid just like you, but even we've had people who, they made changes, they were happier, they became healthier, they were better off, and their spouse or significant other or someone important didn't necessarily hop on board with it, but they saw it was important to them, and they supported that, right? Like, we had one time a guy, and he loved it, and they were trying to figure out some financial stuff, and kind of had to leave, stop it for a little while, but eventually, his wife was like, man, you were happier and less stressed and better off with that, and then they reprioritized, and she was like, you need to go back, and I mean, that's awesome. So it went from something where the person was against it and not supportive to then encouraging it
because of how the positive impact it had on that person. And it might not be for that other person, but at least they can support
Yeah.
You know, the individual who does need it and like it.
Yeah. And yeah, so like Will said, the biggest thing is like any of this stuff, it takes time. And understand, like, yeah, change is hard, and that's going to be part of why it's hard. Like, you're going to have resistance. You're going to have doubters. You're going to have, as the kids say,
Haters.
You
always will.
At what age do we have to
stop saying haters?
stop thinking? But that's the kind of words in lingo that pop in my head still.
I think just be you, man. Do you. Let everyone else worry about themselves.
I don't know. But then I start to judge myself.
You know, I do the same thing. It started out as like a joke where I would say like fam.
Mm-hmm.
Now I just catch myself saying it all the time.
You know what I'm on right now? Young blood.
Oh no. Is that a thing now?
Come here, young blood. I just can't. I hear it in like songs or whatever, and I'm like, I like the way that sounds.
But then say it,
and I feel cool saying it. But I realize anyone else watching me say it, it's just a hilarious,
like, what?
Funny thing.
What is he doing? Why is he talking like that?
It's not taken in a cool or serious way. So, but you know what? I'm gonna be persistent.
Be persistent, but don't be pushy about it, man.
Yeah.
Don't say anybody else has to say young blood.
Just gonna do it.
Young blood.
Young blood.
Oh man.
Young blood's out here.
God, you should just as often as you can use that. Like at the gas station, get some gas.
I appreciate it, young blood. Yeah. But I'm still that awkward age where I'm not old enough to call anyone a young blood.
Yeah, but you're not a kid anymore.
Yeah. But you can't. The people I am old enough to say it to, like, would just, like a 12-year-old would be like, what?
Exactly.
So I'm saying it to like 27-year-olds.
And they're like,
but I'm only like 8 years older.
Get out of here, man! You can't say that. You don't have the authority.
And then am I going to say it to like a 57-year-old?
Nah.
Appreciate that, young blood.
Oh man.
Anyways, that's where I'm feeling resistance right now.
Yeah, people accepting your lifestyle.
But
man,
like we said, habits can be contagious.
They can. Show not tell. Be a good example. Give people time, and kind of put yourselves in their shoes too, and realize that it might not be their time to change, or they might be handling things how they know how, and that's okay in the moment. So, show them the better way.
Yeah.
The way that you've changed, but don't ram it down their throats.
Yeah, and reflecting back on it, I think the biggest thing that gets people to change, thinking of our clients that have faced this, is, when they start looking, feeling better. When they just have a different energy about them, right? It's not even about, looking a certain way. It's more like, well, when you look a certain way, you feel more confident, you have a different energy, and that kind of sparks interest in other people to where they'll eventually, start asking questions.
If you look good, you feel good.
Yep.
If you feel good, you look good.
So, if you're starting out or you're in it and you just have resistance from family, friends that are important to you, just kind of first check in, be aware, be like, you know what, this is part of the process. This is why it's hard. Part of the reason it's hard. It'd be easier if they were super supportive, but, they can come around. And at the very end, if they never do, relationships change and evolve, and you can kind of mentally prepare for that some. But ultimately, if you're just persistent, do your thing, and then eventually exude those good vibes, then the other people, will come around. But you kind of shut the door if you get real pushy from the beginning.
Yep. So just do you, young blood.
All right. You stole it from me, man. I was ready to just sign off with that, and now I can't even go about it. What was the kick you've been on? You said
fam.
All right, fam. What do we just start talking like that now? Like we come on, we're like, "What's up, fam? Welcome to Fit for Life Radio."
Next episode, we got it.
Yeah, make sure you tell your young bloods about this show. Yeah.
All right, we'll catch you guys next time.
All right, holla back.
As always, thanks for listening, guys. If you want to learn more, check us out at coastalfitnessva.com or garydeagle.com. We'll see you next time.